So what is the value of a life? Welcome to Rising Crime. So I've been doing a lot of stories lately about people being killed over stupid things. Like a Florida man, Michael Williams, who killed his ex-wife and her son over an argument over the electric bill. And the two guys at the Brooklyn, New York smoke shop who got into a fight over not saying thank you, and one stabbed and killed the other. So I started wondering what the most common reasons are for people being murdered. And my initial thought was that the most common reason would be an argument, because the majority of the murders that I seem to come across are for very stupid reasons. So I went to the gun memorial and looked at the 10 most recent shooting deaths. Now, most of these don't have pictures, but we're just interested in the stories right now, and I didn't want to pick through and alter the data in any way, so I just went with the first 10, and they are as follows. The first, Bilal S., killed in a drive-by. The second, Casey Jess Anderson. He was shot by someone he knew in a camper. The third, Eric Foreman Jr. He was killed in a mass shooting that followed an argument, and one group left and came back armed and opened fire. Frank Arnville. Two guys having an argument turned into a gunfight, and he died. George Poole. He was shot while at work at a Sonic drive-in. The 20-year-old killer was found by the police in his car with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. They're calling this one a murder-suicide. Number 6, Isaiah Jones, a Detroit boxer, was shot in the head during an argument with his brother. Jermaine Brown, he was found dead with a gunshot wound, so we'll call this one unknown. Cameron Tucker, another that's unknown. Contavious Wegeman was killed in the same incident as the previous guy, another unknown. Marcel Whitsett, another unknown. So of the 10, there were 4 unknown, 3 arguments, a drive-by, a murder-suicide, and 1 killed by someone that they knew. So I went a little deeper to remove the 4 unknowns and so we can get 10, so we can have some actual data using 10 victims. So Ansel Williams, another unknown. Ryan Hurst, shot during an argument. Chevere Davis, someone climbed up into a window and shot her and her dog, so we'll call this one a home invasion. Walter Williams, he was shot and killed by a friend. Some more unknowns. And then Billy Isaacs, fatally shot during an altercation. Okay, so another argument. So I had to go 21 victims in just to get 10 that listed a cause. So of the ones with a motive listed, 5 were arguments, 2 killed by a friend, 1 was a home invasion, 1 was a drive-by, and 1 was a murder-suicide. So this is a really small sample size. And like I said, I had 11 unknown causes before I got to the 10 with a reason. But 50% were over an argument. And one could assume that the 2 killed by a friend or someone they knew may very well have been an argument as well. So that number could be even higher. We have a serious problem in this country with people not knowing how to resolve situations in a reasonable manner. A bullet can end any argument and give the shooter the final word. But it's not a reasonable solution to the problem. We have more than 2 mass shootings per day on average, and anywhere from 50 to 70 or more people murdered every day in America. There's become a complete lack of value for the human life. It literally means nothing to these killers. A complete lack of value for the life of their victims, and a complete lack of value to their own lives. I heard this guy talk years ago who was in prison for attempted murder. He had killed his wife years earlier and was released from prison, and a few years after that stabbed his girlfriend at the time like 40 times, and she somehow survived, and went to one of his parole hearings and apparently spoke before the parole board and said that he had stabbed her in the face when describing the incident. So this guy who killed her was upset about this. He said he never stabbed her in the face. He said, yeah, I stabbed her a few times. and deserved a few years in prison, but this is ridiculous. He stabbed her over 40 times, and by some miracle, she lived, and he was upset because she said he stabbed her in the face and kept him from getting parole. And the casualness in the way that he said that he deserved, a few years in prison, was like what he did wasn't a big deal because he had done his time. His sentence for that attempted murder was like 15 years, I think. And I remember thinking at the time that he had just been released from prison for murder a few years before that, and he should have received a longer sentence. And maybe what we need is just to go back to a place where the punishment fits the crime, where the punishment is long enough to prevent at least some of this stuff from happening. A place where if you kill one person, then 25 years later, almost kill another person the exact same way, that regardless of a miracle that kept them alive, your sentence is double what it would be if it was your first time. But that will never happen. But it needs to until people can learn the value of life, not just of others, but of their own. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. So stay safe, America. Keep your head on a swivel and remember, a bullet can travel over a mile unimpeded. So keep dodging those strays until these shooters get better aim. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.